Hi friends, it's Mrs. Darwin from Towson Presbyterian Preschool, and I'm coming to you today from my basement, and I am very excited because I am going to be reading you a story that I remember reading to my kids when they were little. So this book is called Silly Goose and Dizzy Duck Play Hide and Seek. It's written by Sally Grindley. And the pictures are by Adrian Reynolds. It's a cute one. Let's see what happens. Silly Goose and Dizzy Duck went for a walk in the woods. Suddenly, Silly Goose held on to Dizzy Duck's wing and said, "I think somebody's following us." They looked around, but there was no one there. "Silly me," said Silly Goose. "I must be imagining things. Do you see someone there?" They walked on again, and suddenly Dizzy Duck leaped into the air and said, "I heard a twig snap." They turned slowly around, and they saw Clever Fox tiptoeing away. "Cooey! Hey, we can see you," called Silly Goose. "Are you playing hide and seek?" "Can we play too?" said Dizzy Duck. "Well, all right," said Clever Fox. He smiled a hungry smile. Look at those teeth, huh? "You hide while I count to 5. 1. Silly Goose tried to squeeze inside a hollow log, but she was too fat. 2. Dizzy Duck tried to climb a tree, but he was scared of heights. 3. Silly Goose crawled under a holly bush, but it was much too prickly. 4. Dizzy Duck jumped into the river, but it was too cold. 5. Silly Goose scuttled under a pile of leaves. Coming, ready or not. Dizzy Duck squatted behind a pile of stones. Do they look very hidden to you? I see someone in the background. And it's not the fox. "Which one shall I eat first?" snickered Clever Fox. "The Silly Goose or the Dizzy Duck?" And he began to look for them. Dizzy Duck giggled. And Silly Goose sneezed. "Achoo!" Clever Fox crept up behind Dizzy Duck. Oh, he looks hungry. And Grizzly Bear crept up behind Clever Fox. "Boo!" boomed Grizzly Bear. Look how Fox is holding Duck. Does that look very nice? "Ah!" yelled Clever Fox, and he shot out of the woods. "Just as well I came along when I did," chuckled Grizzly Bear. "You frightened our friend," grumbled Silly Goose. "And spoiled our game," said Dizzy Duck. "You will have to play instead." So now it's the bear's turn to hide, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. "Coming, ready or not," called Silly Goose and Dizzy Duck. Now where on earth can he be? They're so silly, they just still don't see him. I bet you do though. I love this story. It's very funny. They really are silly. The duck and the goose are very, very silly. They don't know what's up. At the end, I hope you saw the bear hiding behind the tree. In fact, one of my ideas today was maybe you would play hide and seek with people in your house. Or we've done this before, my idea of hiding something and then having people get a chance to find it. So if you have a teddy bear, you can reenact the game with the bear, and you guys can be the duck and the goose. So first of all, I wanted to tell you, you may have noticed in my previous videos that I had a whole wall of ducks behind me. I was in my living room, and we have ducks in my living room, and we have ducks in my basement, family room, and we also have ducks in my husband's office. So when I say ducks, do I mean a living duck that's walking around saying quack, quack, quack and needs to get in the water and needs to eat? No. What I mean are duck decoys. They are carved and painted most of the time, and they were used by duck hunters. But Mr. Darwin is not a duck hunter. He's just a decoy collector, and his dad, Mr. Darwin's dad, also named Mr. Darwin, is a fisherman by trade, but he also carves decoy ducks. So actually a lot of the ones that we have in our house are from him, and I'm just going to show you a couple of them real quick. So when you look at ducks, this is one you may see a lot of places. If you see a boy duck that has a green head and this kind of body with a little white at the tip, probably back here, that's called a mallard. You will see a lot of mallards around. Now, in the duck world, and most of the bird world, in fact, the prettier ducks, like the ducks with the vibrant colors and the splashy patterns, are the males, you know, the daddy ducks. The females, to protect themselves and also, you know, to get wowed by their handsome boy ducks, they are actually plainer in color. I find them beautiful, all kinds of browns and grays and tans and stuff, usually. So this is a female mallard, and Mr. Darwin painted that. So Mr. Ed Darwin. One more. This is actually called a coot. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. Hold on. The thing I like about it is the coot carries its baby on its back. So if it has babies, and I don't think it makes as many babies, the babies will ride on their back and, you know, cross the lake or whatever they're trying to cross. I'm just gonna pick it up. Hold on. Oh, isn't he pretty? This is a coot. Anyway, when I say we have a lot in my house, just ducks, probably over 100. So a lot of them are just sentimental ducks, though, that we have as gifts from Mr. Ed Darwin. So, wanted you to see that. Oh, plus we have one of these. This was in my husband's office, and I think I brought this into school once. And you can make a really funny sound. I couldn't share it because we couldn't all put our mouth on it, but I can do it. Ready? Does that sound a little like a duck? Quack, quack, quack. So this is how duck hunters, I think, try to lure ducks over, because they hunt them, but we just have it because it's fun. All right, next, I wanted to show you something I did today that I think you could do at home really easily. Can you see what shape this is besides a duck? That's my hand. That's right. I painted my left hand and I put it on the piece of paper, and then I actually took my thumb and I spread the yellow paint a little bit. Then I washed my hand. I got orange paint and I used my pinky, but you might be able to use your pointer finger. And I made little webbed feet, and I made a bill. A duck has a bill. And then I went back with another finger and I did a polka dot eye. So it was sort of finger painting, even though I had acrylic paints. You may have finger paints, but that was kind of a fun way. Another thing I saw online My yellow paint was a little, I didn't have enough. But if you have a lot, or you can even do it with a marker, like a Crayola washable marker. Do yellow on your thumb, and you can make little ducklings behind. I thought that was adorable. So then I have a game for you. You may do whatever you want with this. You do not have to draw a bunch of ducks, but I'm calling it Get Your Ducks in a Row. It's sort of a takeoff on a game that we play or have played at school. I did it with the afternoon kids a couple times, where we took a giant die, but I don't have a giant die here at home, and that is okay. When I say a die, I mean one of these, right? One of these cubes that has little dots on it with different numbers of dots on each side. And when you roll it during a game, it tells you usually how many spots to move, right? So we played with a giant die so that everybody in the group could see it. But if you're just playing with your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad, you really don't need a giant die. So you take one of these and you roll it. Look, I got a 6. So how do I know it's a 6? What if I'm not sure? I'm used to looking at what dots mean, but you know what you can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're good counters. Just count all the dots. And then over here, my idea was that you would take your picture with a bunch of ducks on it, but you don't have to. You could find anything you want to do and figure out how many times you want to get that number. So I'm going to do on the 6 real quick with my marker. I am drawing one little foot, okay? How many feet does a duck have? 2, right? What if when you take turns and you go back and forth, you get enough, you get each of these numbers 1 through 6, and you get them each 2 times. Now, will you get some numbers like number 5? You might get it 5 times. Are you going to put 5 feet on your duck? Not really. You can, just to be funny. But to win, I think you'd have to have 2 feet on every duck and be the first person to do it. Now, if you want to keep adding feet to any individual duck just to show how many times you had that number, that would be good. That would be really good. Then you would really be keeping good, accurate count. And your ducks would look really funny. But draw a little foot on your duck, okay? If you have trouble drawing ducks and you want your mom or dad to draw you some ducks, I bet they would. And go find a die from a game, like I had Yahtzee, and play that way, all right? And remember to take turns and don't fuss if you don't get the number. Like, what's really fun is when you just need a 1. You need a 1, and you'll go time after time, and you'll get a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. And it's very, you have to be very patient. It tries your patience because you will just want that 1. Just start being a cheerleader for yourself. It's a good game. All right, and then I've got one more thing, one more little surprise for you. I looked up duck jokes. I know that Mrs. Burton was telling some jokes on her video recently, so I thought I should look up a couple duck jokes. There's got to be a couple out there. All right, I have 2. The first one is, why did the duck trip on the sidewalk? He tripped on a quack. How can you learn about ducks? Watch a documentary. If you don't know what that means, a documentary is something you can watch. And it kind of just tells you all about something. Like, you could watch a documentary about ducks, but a documentary would definitely be about ducks. So those are my 2 jokes for today. I hope you guys are having a great time. It was beautiful a couple days ago. I know yesterday rained and rained. Really, in fact, big storms. I guess spring has to come and the grass has to grow. So I hope you're finding fun indoors when you're stuck indoors, and I hope you're getting outdoors when you can. And just know that we're all thinking of you here at Towson Presbyterian, or here from our homes, but the teachers from Towson Presbyterian Preschool. And I will make another one of these on Thursday, and I hope you tune in. All right, best to you guys.